Welcome and thank you for tuning in to Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy. The following content may involve explicit language and materials, so listener discretion is advised.
And welcome back, everybody. This week, as promised, we have part 2 of the Zimbabwe Goblins / Tokoloshe. And again, with us is Miss Liz from Ouch, Was That a Ghost? They should know. If you don't know who she is by now and you've listened to all my episodes, go listen again and go find her because you should know her by now. And she kicks ass. So that just helps out. But last week, we kind of covered. Sorry, I had some spiked cocoa a minute ago, and I think I drank it a little too fast. We covered what a goblin is, kind of what it's made of, how you create one, and a couple of interesting encounters involving some suitcases. So, again, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to part 1, and then come back and join us for part 2. We'll wait. And welcome back. Okay, so... That's the best. But seriously, though, there's some good stories over there. And before we jump right into this, do you have anything big going on over there? Any massive? You said you've got number 50 coming up, right?
It's still a little bit away. I'm still on 42 right now. So 8 more episodes and I'm going to hit the big 50.
Oh, man. I think I'm only on 20-something, 30 maybe? Shit, I don't know. Something like that.
I'm just very distracted because you put up your little toy behind you and I keep watching it to make sure it stays green to know that there's no spookies in there behind you.
Oh, yeah. I didn't mention that. Okay. So everybody who is not on the Patreon tier that sees the video, what the hell are you waiting for? Go over there and get signed up for starters because you're the only people that are going to see these videos. That being said, I have a K2 meter behind my head on the shelf and I have 2... Well, you can see them. There you go. There you go. I have 2 little, what they call cat balls. I just call them sensors because I feel weird saying cat balls all the time. And because so much weird shit happens when Miss Liz is on with us, I decided I was going to set them up just to kind of see. Now, we are recording pretty early in the day, so I think we might be all right. At the moment, it does not feel like anything is in here with us. But just in case they decide to make an appearance, I put the sensors out there so that they could let us know that they're here if they want to. Poor her, right behind my head as we're talking, she sees this green light that she's really hoping stays a solid green light and doesn't factor down into the red zone behind me. So that's what she's talking about. Again, you guys can check it out on the Patreon tier. I believe it's a Phantom Blend. I'm actually going to be restructuring my tiers to make some of them a little, they're going to be, now granted, they're going to have less stuff in it because it's going to be kind of like the lower pricing kind of thing. So I might adjust those just to make it a little easier for people to contribute and support us and all of that good stuff. But I'm pretty excited. So let's go ahead and just get into here because this one, I mean, all 3 parts of this son of a bitch are great. And I got my giggles ready. It's going to be coming. So we're going to start this next part with, again, a really good story that I found online. So all of my sources will be in the description of this podcast and the notes, however it's formatted, wherever you listen. And the other parts of the little mini series are also going to be on there, so you guys can follow along. If you want to, pause, go open it up and kind of look, or if you just kind of want to go be like, did you really just fucking say that? And go look it up to make sure that's what I said. Because some of these get a little outrageous. Now, this first story, we're going to dive in, and it's pretty shocking and a little scandalous, I dare say. I'm already laughing because I already know where we're going. A 31-year-old man named Rodrigue has an outlandish story that most people would find hard to believe. He claims that a Tokoloshe continuously climbs into his bed to torment him in the middle of the night. He goes on to state that on occasion, it takes the form of a lizard and scratches him. However, for the most part, it takes the form of a gorgeous yet very short woman who has this obsession with sucking his, as he admits, 4 to 5 inch weapon of choice.
What? Who? Okay.
I knew it.
Okay. I'm not judging men. I don't know averages. I don't know what to be proud of, what not to, but that's a strange thing to include. So it kind of gives a little bit of validity to his story.
Yeah,
And
'cause, I mean, I just don't see anybody owning the fact that they have 4 to 5 inch wiener and being proud of that.
yes.
I just really don't. I mean, and not to mention, it might be a man's 4 to 5 inches, which means it's probably a woman's 2 to 3 inches. Right?
Very, very true.
But maybe it's average. I wonder what the average dick size in Zimbabwe is. I think I could Google that. You know, I'm going to Google that. This is going to get weird, but hold on. Let me see if I can in private browser this shit first.
When you're looking at that up, what the lizard just goes in and bites him?
So it says that it appears as a lizard and scratches him. It doesn't say where or how or anything like that.
So before it takes female form, that's the little foreplay, just a little scratch.
Yeah. Maybe, oh my gosh, instead of it being a furry, it's a scaly. All right, so let's see here. Okay, for a second I about had a heart attack. These are in centimeters. Shh. We got to convert this. How many centimeters is that? How many inches is centimeters? Okay. So 15.68.
Oh.
Now do you see why I about had a heart attack? Okay, so the average erect penis in Zimbabwe is 6.17 inches.
Okay. I guess that's understandable because there's large and then there's small that will, shift the median.
Maybe he's a shower, not a grower. I don't know. I really don't know. And again, this is 4 to 5 inches. He doesn't specify if that's, raging warfare or if that's
out of the shower.
Like a cold day. Wait, Zimbabwe probably doesn't get cold, does it? Out of a cold shower.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I don't know. But even then, I mean, if we're talking almost 6.25 inches is average and you're boasting about 4 to 5, I don't really think that's a good idea.
What a weird thing to add into his account.
I know. That's what I was thinking. But either way, apparently this goblin is all about it. She just likes to polish that hitch and that's her thing, I guess. After each event, he says that he is still left completely wound up tighter than an 8-day clock, causing him to now begin to go hunting in the middle of the night for what he calls a magosha, which I think is a sex worker. From what I've gathered, you have to pay them to get hooker. I don't whatever the term is. I think it's sex worker. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Now, these events, he says, had been happening for 2 years. And I'm wondering too, so he's getting these BJs from this Tokoloshe. Does she not do anything else? Does she just, maybe the Sangoma that created her forgot to put a JJ in?
Well, you think she just teases him and then leaves?
I don't know. I mean, if it's that good, surely he crosses the finish line. Right? I would assume.
So he's had this since he's 29 for 2 years.
That's what he's saying.
Wouldn't you just get a girlfriend?
Oh, we'll get
this
to that.
Happens every night and then go there.
We will get to that. But as far as the Magoshas go, according to him, he has to obtain services from at least 3 every single time.
Bullshit. That's
what he says. I don't know. Now, okay, we'll skip that. We're not going to go. I was say I get this, but we're not going to get into that. I don't know how much that costs, but it's got to be pricey, right?
Yes, definitely.
I mean, why couldn't one of these girls handle it? Maybe they need to up their game. Maybe he's got some form of ED?
That's exactly what I was thinking, but I'm like, he's only 31. I mean, it could happen
Oh, trust me, it happens.
at that age.
I know a guy.
I'm sorry for him.
Granted, I was his Sangoma. I mean, he didn't pay me, but I was able to get the job done. Where other people couldn't.
You little lizard, Natasha. What?
You caught me. Me and my reptilian ass. Sorry, I was trying to make a little sissy sound. I can't flick my tongue because that's gross. But from the sounds of it, on the side of that, he's not getting his money's worth. I feel like it should be you pay and, well, instead of like paying like by hour, you should, I guess it depends. I mean, if it was like a 2-pump chump, I'd be like, yeah, pay per whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand unless
Maybe it
it's
should
like
be like truck drivers. Yeah, you pay per load. Oh God, that's horrible.
And how the hell is he affording this? If you're taking up so much time out of your day doing this every night, I'm assuming it's all at night, right?
I'll probably address this later. I'm pretty sure I addressed it later.
Okay.
But again, granted, with just 4 to 5 inches, stamina doesn't really matter much because let me tell you, doesn't matter how long the ride is, it might not work. And I'm not talking on his behalf. That's just got to be sucky. But after the third Magosha,
maybe he has width going for him.
Oh yeah, so it may only be 4 to 5 inches, but as big around as a Pringles can.
Yeah, maybe he has something.
Wide load coming through. I mean, maybe. I don't know. But, after the third Magosha, he usually decides he's tired. It's time to go home and get some rest. But after the first few months, he went from enjoying the mind-boggling blowjob sessions with his Tokoloshe to feeling like he was kind of being used like a sex slave. Talk about an ego problem. Rodriguez states that he sometimes has to have relations with up to 50 Magoshas in a month to help put out the raging sexual fire and sex-craved knob-polishing goblin. 50 in a month. So that's almost two. Well, I guess it's only almost 2 a night. So, I mean, that's not horrible. Well,
but how what is he doing for work?
That's noted later.
Okay.
You'll like it. So, after many sleepless nights, he then turns to his parents for help because, after all, he lived with them.
No, he went and told his parents,
Ma, I got a problem. Did you like my Zimbabwe accent there?
Yeah, it was perfect. Spot on. What do you even say to your mother or father? And well, maybe the father you could talk to and he'd be like, yeah, good job. Give him knuckles.
Yeah, right. Pound that shit. Literally. That's the only way I could think of how he could even afford anything, right? Is if he's staying with his parents because there's no way he could afford to stay anywhere else. Unless that's the case. Because of all of this pussy purchasing, he had plenty of issues. Again, he now has, and I told you we'd get to it, no money, no
Gonorrhea.
girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, we're probably gonorrhea. No girlfriend and no job. And I know they aren't doing it on the house because with 4 to 5 inches, you ain't getting shit for free.
So how is he paying for this?
My literal next question is, how the hell is he paying per tail at least 50 times a month? Unless he's using his parents' money. Maybe he's a thief?
I don't think he can steal that.
I'm saying he breaks in, he steals money for a different kind of crack.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
The other kind of crack. I love how you said that. I was like, I did not even go there. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I love how it didn't even faze me. I'm like, wait a minute. But Rodriguez claims that he wanted to obtain and keep a girlfriend, but that damn Tokoloshe just wouldn't let him have it. She refused to let him have a girlfriend. Now, I don't entirely know how she could prevent it, unless, say you get a girlfriend and she like stays the night and all of a sudden you wake up because something's, moving, you think it's him, rolling over to cuddle, and you realize you roll over and open your eyes and you're like, well, there's something in the bed. And I know that's too big to be the 4 to 5 inches. So you like look under the covers and there's a fucking Tokoloshe with her head in his crotch. But then it doesn't even look like a Tokoloshe because he said it looked like a beautiful short woman. So I could see her causing problems with girlfriends. Maybe.
I don't even know what to say.
I could see your wheels turning in there. You're like, yeah, I said the same thing whenever I read it.
Yeah, because how could you explain that away if that was the case? And I wonder if he slept at her house, if the Tokoloshe would follow him there.
Probably, I'd imagine so. Oh, wait. Would girls even bother going over there to stay with him? I mean, he lives with his parents.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, a lot of issues there. A lot of issues there. Sangoma, with a name that I cannot pronounce, so I just left it out, came to try to help him out. The witch doctor said that the goblin was built in the yard with the sole intent of destroying him and making sure that he could never keep a human girlfriend. Before he left, he recommended that the house, that he and the house should be cleansed with particular ceremonies. And apparently, that's the end of the story.
What's the ceremony? Step on a lizard?
Don't step on a crack or you'll break your. It doesn't specify. It doesn't say whether they went through with the ceremonies. It doesn't say that he was fixed. He ever had a girlfriend. We have no idea what happened to poor Rodriguez.
So I forget if you covered this, but I'm curious. Let's say that I sick a Tokoloshe on you, right?
Mhm.
And then I die. Does that Tokoloshe continue, or
So
does his job end?
We brought this up in the first episode.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think we ever decided what happens because we also figured out that
we recorded that so long ago.
Yeah. They go sour.
Oh, yes. The rogue ones.
Yeah. So maybe that's it. I honestly do not know, but I would assume, okay. Now, there might be a loophole in the magic loop here. All right. From what I have gathered, typically when there is something with witchcraft involved and a spell is performed or anything, hex, anything like that, typically the way to break said spell or hex would be to kill the person who did it, the person who completed the spell. So even though these people are requesting the Tokoloshe, they're not actually the one completing the process of creating them. So I would guess that
killing the Sangoma.
I would assume. I really don't know for sure, but that seems to be the logical way to go. And maybe it is like an heirloom. I think I said like in the other one when you go to the reading of the will and they're like, "Congratulations, son, you won a Tokoloshe," and he's like, "Oh fuck."
If you ever get a suitcase in any type of will reading, just leave. Be like,
yeah, just walk away. Don't even open it.
I'm just saying, if he spent half of the amount of time that he did chasing those nighttime pieces that he's getting as finding out who actually sent this to him, his life would be so much better. Like it could be an ex-girlfriend, a friend, or something. That's what I would be trying to do.
Well, here's the thing. It was created from the dirt in his own yard.
So you think his parents did it?
I'm thinking sometimes you have those moms, that are awfully attached to their babies and they're very protective and they don't ever want their babies to leave. And if they get a girlfriend, then they get married and they leave the house and then you're all alone.
But then if she did that, she's taking the chance that he can be the one that's killed.
Well, sometimes chance you got to take. I've seen enough of those true crime shows. People have killed for less. So
that would be really weird if it was the mother that did that.
That's the only thing I could think of because I know some mothers. I have dated the sons of some mothers that I could totally see fucking doing this.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit as long as they keep their baby home. If the job's complete, I mean, because this Tokoloshe's job is never going to be complete until Rodriguez is dead.
Or until it stops working.
Well, because his job is, well, even then, you can, oh, Jesus. You could still have a girlfriend and not have your dick work.
Yeah, that's true. It's a large industry.
Yes, it is. But I'm thinking even if it wasn't working, I mean, like I said, until he's dead, if the whole goal of this Tokoloshe is to keep him from getting a human girlfriend, then it will continue to be on this mission until the day he dies.
So what is the lizard part, though?
That I haven't figured out. What if Rodriguez decides to be gay? Can you decide to be gay? I really don't know how that works.
I
But
think
what
you're
if?
born either way.
But what if?
I
But
didn't
I'm
know
just
where
saying.
you were going with the lizard when you made that comment. That's why I
Oh
laughed.
no, I
Because
was
I'm
just
like, wait, what?
no, I was just going with if
Because
he switched teams, and the goal of the Tokoloshe is to make sure he never gets a human girlfriend. That doesn't apply to men.
so you think that the lizard is on standby and he can turn into a handsome man, and then she will revert to her original reptilian form?
I have no idea what's going on with this. The lizard's weird. You know what? It was probably just that this fucker found a lizard in his bed. I mean, come on, it's Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know people. They find snakes in the fucking toilet. They find
Ah,
tarantulas under the door handle of their cars. I mean, I don't know if that happens in Zimbabwe, but I know that there are instances where that does happen, and people have to watch. Like literally, they open their toilet and there's a fucking snake that came up through the pipes.
I
Yeah, you're
would
gonna think twice
never.
before you sit down, huh?
I'd pee in my pants for the rest of my life.
But they really
Never.
do. And there's stuff like that where just things find a way to get in the house. It's just part of being around nature. And I actually, it's funny. I had a lizard in my house probably 6 months ago. I was bringing in, and I saw him like a couple days before that. I saw him crawling up the side of my house, and I only know it was him because he was missing his tail. And of course, I had two 12-year-old boys, and they were trying to catch it. And I was like, no, 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 no. I was like, leave him alone. I was like, he's fine. I'm all about, I love lizards and snakes and all of that. And I'm like, just leave him alone. I was like, he's probably scared. He's just trying to get you, like, looked like he was trying to crawl out from under something. So it's like, I think he's just trying to get back in and be safe. So just leave him alone. He's fine. A few days later, I'm bringing in these huge totes from outside from my shed into the house. I was decorating something. So it must have been around fall time because I was doing my Halloween decorations. And my cats were going berserk. And I couldn't figure out, I mean, they were making some weird ass noises. And this one was like bashing her, like charging and bashing her face into this giant tote because she's very small. And this tote was, I'm talking it was like a 6-foot tote, huge. And it was like full of shit. So it was like really heavy. So she was trying to headbutt it to move it and was pawing at the bottom. And I couldn't figure out why. Eventually, I lifted up, and that fucking lizard with no tail, bless his little pea picker, he bolted out from under it. Like he was scared shitless. The cat was chasing it. There was like animals galore. I don't know what the hell was happening. But this poor little lizard was like running for his dear life because he somehow got in the house. So I went and got him, and I caught him, and I released him back outside. But that's just kind of my thing where things get inside. And there's nothing, I didn't have the door wide open. I didn't, because I can't do that because then the dogs get out. So I have no idea how he got inside, but he did. So what are the odds? I mean, I very easily could have made it another 15 feet to the left into my bedroom. So maybe he just had a lizard. I don't know. I don't know, but it's possible.
Okay.
But that's the first story. I don't know what the hell happened to him. God bless you, Rodriguez, and everybody that decides it's going to jump on your tiny pogo stick.
I'm just saying the odds of being with that many women, he has to have something.
True. Oh. Well, I mean, the next story has some motivational moves that cannot be denied. I did not see a name in this account, but it is a doozy. The 42-year-old said it all started when he lost his virginity to a Tokoloshe. According to him, the quote-unquote evil thing disabled his, again, 4 to 5 inch pecker and completely ruined his sex life. Yes. I don't know. And maybe it is more average than we thought.
Disabled it?
Yes. I'm thinking like ED situation, but maybe they didn't realize what ED was.
So they were like, oh, it was a Tokoloshe that did it.
Yeah. Well, you got to think. Okay, I'm about to ruffle some feathers, and I'm sorry, guys. We're just going to really go to town here. If you're in an area that does not typically practice a lot of medicine or modern medicine, to say that at least, and keep in mind, your solution to a lot of your problems is let's go find a Sangoma, which is basically a witch doctor. That's our solution. Everything is witch doctor. There's probably Sangomas everywhere. They probably do, I don't know if Santeria is a big thing down there, but a lot of hexes, a lot of things are more spiritual, magical based and not so much medically based. So if you're a perfectly healthy man and all of a sudden your dick dies, they might not have any logical, to them, their logical reason is someone did this to me. Like, or someone hexed me or whatever. So I can just see that being a thing. It's kind of like when people would, I think at first, when they got the plague, when people would get the plague, they didn't realize that it was a virus because nobody knew that was a thing. It was, you've been basically deemed whatever. Or people with schizophrenia, like back in the day, you were possessed, even though you weren't, you just had schizophrenia.
I just did that in Mercy Brown not too long ago when it was TB going through, but everyone was like, oh, so they're a vampire. That's a vampire. They have vampirism.
That is a perfect example because depending on what your belief system is and how you have been raised, that's just what it is. So I can totally, that does not surprise me at all that is the case. And more so than anything, typically in this area and in that like population, that's not the word I'm looking for. That
Culture?
Group of, thank you, culture. In that culture, Tokoloshes are huge. I mean, they're huge. It's like, okay, it's like being in, I can't say this word, oh dear God, sorry guys. It's like being in Ireland and you have changelings.
I love those.
I mean, a baby had a disability, changeling. Baby got sick, changeling. Like everything with a changeling, because that was the easiest thing for them to wrap their minds around. So I feel like a Tokoloshe is to Zimbabwe like a changeling is to Irish culture. So, all right, his explanation was that years of tapping that goblin ass caused ED when it came to human women. So because he was hitting that Tokoloshe tail, he lost all interest in human women.
Did the Tokoloshe stop coming by? Is that why he's now looking for something outside of the Tokoloshe girlfriend?
Well, I think I don't know if he's necessarily looking for something outside. It just simply states that, you know, when he's 40, by the time he's 42, it don't work. I don't know if maybe until he was 42, he was trying to sleep with actual women. And maybe just by the time he was 42, he's like, wow, okay, it's been, I don't know, 30 years, 20 years, whatever it's been. And almost like he desensitized himself. And that's the only thing he could come up with. Because maybe he had issues prior to that. They just weren't as significant. As much as he might want to have a long, sweaty, orgasmic-filled bang session with a human, his little fella just doesn't want to get with the program. He claims that the only time he can get any satisfaction out of sex is if a Tokoloshe is involved. Admittedly, he can only last about a minute each time. Again, not missing out. I would not want to waste my time on this dude. I mean, 4 to 5 inches, 1 minute. I mean, come on.
These people have no problem saying. Okay.
Maybe to them, that's not a thing. Maybe sexual whatever is not as important to them as it is here.
And he's saying Tokoloshes, so is he getting more than one?
Well,
and if so,
if a Tokoloshe is involved, I don't know if it's the same Tokoloshe, if it's different Tokoloshes. It doesn't say involved how.
Where do you pick them up?
I don't know. Is there like a corner specifically for Tokoloshes? Like, hey girl, hey, you know, and I'm just seeing this like green goblin thing with like its arm out with like a little purse dangling.
With no eyes.
Hey, honey, you're going to have to direct me. I don't know where you're at. Can you show me to the door, please?
Oh my gosh.
God, I'm going to hell. Because of his lack of stamina and difficulty that he brings to bat at the ball game, he has lost 2 wives and a multitude of girlfriends. Somehow, this man managed to get 15 girlfriends within a 2-year time span, but left them all greatly disappointed. That's a lot of girlfriends. Maybe this guy's like smoking high. He's got a little dick, like a shrimp dick. So the man then goes into detail about how this all started back in 2009. He would retreat to his bedroom only to find the go-go goblin standing on his bed and take a guess what she was doing. She was twerking that shit, my friend. Straight up twerking Tokoloshe on the bed. Like, can you imagine a long day of, I don't know if you're at work, school, whatever the hell you're doing. And you're tired, you put keys in the thing, and you're like, oh, I just need to relax. And you open your door, and there's this Tokoloshe just standing on your bed, just booty jiggling on the back. Like,
Okay,
hey.
I'd be pissed if her feet weren't clean. And as funny as this scene is, all I'm picturing is the empty eyes and like the hole in the skull. So you're watching that go back and forth as she's twerking.
Well, you won't see it because if she's twerking, she might be facing away. So all you see is like a little Beyonce booty or
Tokoloshe
something.
butt.
Yeah. Like you might have I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like a shit. What's that one bitch? She's horrible. She's always known for her big butt.
Big butt. I'm thinking
She
Nicki
dated that.
Minaj, Cardi
No,
B,
No,
J-Lo.
the whole family's like famous. They have dark
Oh,
hair. And
Kim
they all hate-
Kardashian.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, that bitch. So I'm thinking like a Kim Kardashian booty just like jiggling. Although it's really funny to me because again, like I mentioned in the first episode, there is a show called Troll Hunters. And the goblins in there, or like the changelings, which remind me of the goblins, they look very funny. And so all I'm picturing are those characters in here jiggling their little booties with like a little like, I don't know if they got G-string or if they're just naked. I don't know. But just this little bubble butt cheeks.
I have so many questions I want to ask, but I probably shouldn't. So
Let's go for it. Let's try it. What the hell?
I'm just wondering the anatomy of them. They have butts, great, but do
I
they
would
have the
assume.
same setup as like a female, or like
I don't know.
what's going on? Because they're like crafted, so maybe there's more care put into them, or maybe way less. It could be like a Barbie situation, or it could be like extra.
I'm sorry,
inserts.
my face is like I never in
See,
a million.
I should have kept
never
my
would have
mouth shut.
No, I never would have thought of that. That is genius because I would have just never in a million. I had a my size Barbie, so that's all I'm picturing is my size Barbie. But only she was skinny. But okay, here we go. Here's some goblins. I'm going to send you this in a text so that you can see what I'm picturing as these little Tokoloshes. But like I had mentioned earlier, I mean, I brought it up too, where maybe the Tokoloshe from the previous story, or the first story, couldn't satisfy the man because maybe she didn't have the pieces. But see, that's what I'm picturing.
That would be hilarious, but
Right?
and a man would be into that, huh?
Well, I'm just thinking of a woman version. But that's what I'm picturing. And that's just from a TV show that I used to watch with my kid. And that's just why it stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm the same way. I don't know what they have. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe it's just all taint for days.
Yeah.
Maybe they got two butts. I don't know. I mean, nothing really specifies to tell you. It just says that she's twerking. But I said, yeah, that's right. That's right. She's up there getting jiggy with it. But the following is a quote from the man to explain what happened next. Okay, quote. After seducing me with her moves, she gave me a great blowjob before enjoying long, steamy sessions with me, end quote. Like this poor limp dick soul tried everything, including multiple, what he called VUCA treatments, which were pretty much herbal supplements to try to kind of, I want to kind of associate with when people used to, basically they would go out and they would kill these beautiful, majestic rhinos just to cut their horn off and grind it up, thinking it would give them a boner.
Yeah, that sucked.
But this was more of a herbal supplement and not of that nature, hopefully. It doesn't specify, but I'm just going to hopefully just assume it doesn't. But it didn't help him at all. He even tried the men's clinic, but they couldn't help him either. So eventually, Sangoma's traditional healers and prophets all informed him that the invisible Bang Buddy was the cause of his defective dinky dick.
I feel like they were just like, just leave me alone. This is the reason. Get out of here. But he's pulling, what did you say, 15 in a year?
So there was 50 in a year. We're on the same dude. No, this is a different dude. Different dude.
No, but you said girlfriends, not paying.
Oh, yeah, 15 girlfriends in 2 years.
Yeah, see, that's not that bad.
No.
So he must be a decent looking guy. I'd get a girl that's willing to put the work in.
Well, maybe he sustains or whatever. And then whenever he finally whips it out, they're like, fuck, I'm out. Peace. Peace, bitches. Yeah, and this one again, that's really the end of it. That's all they say. It's just like, oh, hey, you have this Tokoloshe problem because you got a small little wiener. That doesn't work. I'm sorry we had to leave that part out, guys. But that's what I have as far as like the incident. However, I did find that there is a random fact about the same man that he claims to have been struck by vehicles 3 times. Once in 1992, once in 1994, and once in 2010. I know that doesn't really have anything to do with the story, but I just found it fascinating that I mean, who gets hit by a car 3 times? Or a vehicle. It doesn't specify car, but that's some bad mojo. Bad juju all the way.
That really is.
But yeah, so again, dude's 42. It doesn't say anything about, now granted, he did get told why there was an issue. He did not get, I don't see where it said he got help or they completed these rituals or anything, or if he just lived with it. I don't know. I mean, by 42, you might be okay being alone, right? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe. I figured their culture it's really important to have children and get married.
Well, how long
In
do they
most
live?
cultures. Huh?
Well, how long do they live? Hold on. Do 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 do. In
What would you do if you had a Tokoloshe?
I'd fuck the shit out of it. I gotta get
But
action somewhere, man.
Who's to say that that's what they're going to do to you? Maybe you had one that did something else. Like maybe you had one that
Well, it
ruined your life
depends.
another way. What would you do?
Well, this says, just so you know, 61 years is the average lifespan in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, so he still has some time. You can pop
Yeah.
some kids out.
Now, well, it's like the one guy, from last episode, the Sangoma that created the Tokoloshe had 100 kids and like 30 wives or whatever. I guess it depends. And I say it depends because on one hand, if I'm getting some action, like these things have some huge monster dicks, right? So if I'm getting some action, I could probably close my eyes and take it from a Tokoloshe. Probably. Now, if he was just mischievous and like stealing my keys and shit, from what I've gathered thus far, I'd light the bitch on fire because that seems to be the only way to get rid of it, or stuff it in a suitcase. Oh my gosh, can you imagine the threat? I will put you in that suitcase.
I will go to the brick store. What?
Yeah, don't make me. Now, without giving too much away, that might not be my only option because we also have scenarios where other things could be plausible where it's not necessarily there just to be a dick. So that will be covered on the next episode. Do you like the segue? On part 3.
Ooh.
I just slid that right in there like a 4 to 5 inch dick. But yeah, so that's what we have for this one. Again, next week we're going to be covering part 3, which has an outrageous, I mean, just chef's kiss. It's a great story. We're going to have a good time, but you're going to have a good time. I can almost guarantee it. Just make sure that everybody, I'm going to give you a little hint. Sport your thongs and be ready. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, guys. But that being said, thank you again, Miss Liz, for joining us. We have been successful. We have not had any markers on the video. Nothing so far has gotten any weird. It doesn't even feel weird in here. I think we have been spook-free in this episode, which never happened.
Balls are untouched.
I think we scared them. I really don't know if they like it. So we'll find out. Now that you guys have heard it, again, if you guys did not listen to part 1, please go listen to it because it is just as good. I tried to spread them out so that we had just as much action every story, so nothing really, duddied out or anything. And again, she's with Ouch, Was That a Ghost? And you can pretty much find her everywhere. I think she's on all social media. And I think anywhere you listen to podcasts, I think you're on there because I think I've reviewed you on all of those.
Oh, thank you.
I hunted you down like a monster. And just, if you haven't, go listen, rate, review, subscribe, like, follow, whatever the little button says to do on whatever platform you're on, do it. It helps us out a shit ton. It doesn't seem like a lot. It's free. It takes 2 seconds. Super easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Mm-hmm.
And it does the best. Now, again, also, if you guys are interested, we both sell merch. So you can also go there and support us that way. We both have Patreon pages as well, so you can support us that way. So just go on, give some love, and hopefully you enjoy next week's as much as this week's. So until next time, everybody, see ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please subscribe, rate, and review anywhere you listen. This is more beneficial than you may know and will help others locate the podcast. Don't forget to check out my Patreon page as well. We currently have 2 tiers. The Snallygaster tier that'll get you unedited bonus audio, a sticker, a shout out on the podcast, and access to the private Discord server. The second tier is the Phantom tier, and that'll get you all of the benefits of the Snallygaster tier, plus access to live streams and Q&A sessions, and is the only place you can access all video footage from regular episodes as well as the Patreon exclusive episodes. You can subscribe today at patreon.com/cryptids, creeps, and conspiracy. Don't forget to head over to the TeePublic website and take a look at a variety of merch options that are available. You can also find and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, X, and YouTube. All of these links can be found in the description of this episode under the Linktree hyperlink. Until next time, my friends, dare to believe.